everyone, and welcome to Powerful Legacy TV. I'm your host today, 𝗶𝗆 with my very special guest, Miss Kristina and Rob 𝗀𝗶𝗆 of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. Guys, welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having us.
No, I'm excited. I'm really excited today because, you know, this is all about changing people's lives, right, for generations to come. Right, and that's what we're talking about today. And we're going to jump in right away with talking about contributing. Can we do that?
Absolutely. Let's talk about it. Contributing is one of my favorite things to do.
Yes.
When you're contributing in your life, does it just not make you feel better?
Absolutely.
Kind of like giving, so you're giving to yourself.
Yes.
And, you know, speaking of giving, when you're earning your paycheck, I want you to think of contributions like you're paying yourself. You're literally paying yourself when you're earning that paycheck by contributing more into your retirement account. And remember, folks, the Secure Act of 2020 gave us an opportunity to increase those automatic contributions into accounts such as your 401k from 10 to 15%. So we've got some opportunities right out of the gate. Let's jump in there and save.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And so one of the things we're talking about contributing, because I happen to be a big believer in that. A lot of times folks are giving and giving and giving and they think about everybody else and they don't necessarily think of themselves first.
Yes.
So you're right, you do got to contribute to yourself. It's important to do that. You talk a lot about reassess your budget. Yeah, you know what I mean? I mean, that's something I definitely need to do. But so what do you mean specifically on when you say reassess your budget? You're talking about top to bottom? I mean, what are we talking about? Just
Well, in your everyday life, I think having a budget is important. I don't know, is our budget reassessed? Are we good?
I think we talk about it quite often.
Yeah,
no
it's a constant thing in our household.
Yes.
So I think just having a really good, open and honest communication with your spouse if you're married, and then if you're not, being open and honest with yourself. What exactly are you spending? What are you saving? What are you earning? If you don't have those numbers down, chances are you're probably not saving properly because you're probably spending without a proper budget.
You know, I've always wanted to ask you this because there's a lot of folks out there that give us a lot of advice on budgeting, right? There's a lot of information out there. So what do you think that an individual or a family should do? Is it a weekly thing? Is it a monthly thing, quarterly? How frequently do you think people should be reassessing their budgets and making sure they adjust?
Well, I think weekly, monthly. I think it's up to the individual family that you're talking about. They have things that change and come along through life. You have children that come along. You have grandchildren that come along. And depending on what's going on in your life is how often you should reassess things. And reassessing how much you put into your 401ks and things like that, it's not something just for when you're getting older, and you need to realize it's for the younger married couple that might be out there. That if something I used to do when I was younger is I would put, if I got a 3% raise, I would put 2% of that raise and extend my 401 into it, or I'd extend it into another avenue. So you don't miss it. It's not money that you've ever had, so it's not money that's taken away from you that you feel like from an emotional standpoint, and then it helps you save throughout the years without really knowing.
Yeah. So basically make a system that really works for you and your family, your situation.
It does.
Right? And then reassess that and balance it.
Well, you hit the hot topic, though. You said the word balance, and it always makes me think about a wheel.
Yeah.
What do you do if that wheel is off balance? And you don't think about that. Money and budgeting, it's not just a money thing. It's really spiritual, it's physical, it's mental, it's emotional.
Yes.
And if any of those things are off balance, just like when your wheel is off balance and you start feeling a little bit of a lump and you're smooth right along, I think that's a good time to reassess.
No, you're right.
So, you know, do a little bit of a gut check and just see, do I need to stop and reassess my budget? Is everything realistic? And speaking of the budget, folks, when you're giving us a call, coming in and seeing us in the retirement train, your complimentary copy is waiting for you the moment that you come in and see us for your review or even a second opinion. It's in the first chapter talking about those really good budget habits. Don't overspend. Having really good healthy habits from the get-go for your children and grandchildren, it can set them up for a life of successful saving, successful earning, and then a successful retirement.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, teaching good habits, right? Especially by example. And when you've got your financial plan in order and your budget balanced, then you can pass it on to your future generations, and that's a good thing to do. And I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think one of the things that concerns me as a dad and a host is how our school systems really aren't set up to really help the young people going forward on financial planning, right? And so I think it's an important thing, every tool that they have available to them, like your book.
Well, and life skills. I mean, just think about that. Before I was able to get my driver's license, it reminds me my dad was a stickler.
Yeah.
You have to learn how to check all your fluids, change a tire, make sure everything's good and safe for you to operate out in the real world. And when you're just beginning to jump into that adulthood out of Kidville, which is the first chapter. How much house can you afford, or how much apartment can you afford? Can you afford a car payment? We have all sorts of motivational speakers out there about budgets. There is no one size fits all.
Right.
Folks, we are definitely into the individual type of business. So when you're giving us a call and coming in for that complimentary review, we do have that number on the screen there. Take a peek. It's 877-893-5099. Pick up the phone right now. Give us a call. We're looking forward to hearing from you, and let's talk about your budget.
That's good stuff. You know, I wanted to change gears a little bit. You mentioned talking about making a whole movie.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You're talking about life in general?
No, we're not talking about life on your movie. So let's just hit a really sore spot there for a moment. For those of you out there that were affected in the past by the major tornadoes that ripped through Kentucky, I'm talking to you, or I'm talking to someone that needs to prepare for something like that happening. So I did cut my teeth in property and casualty, as did my wonderful husband, and I know you're in that same realm. So let's talk about that for a moment.
Let's do that.
Take out your cell phone, and I want you to walk through your house. Start at the end of the driveway, walk up, and talk as you're going along in this video. And open every single drawer, open every closet, because if that home was a total loss and devastation, then there's no record of everything, and you know that you have more than 2 or 3 shirts. So let's make sure that we're going to get all 20 of your shirts back, and that's what that's really for. And all of the dishes in your cabinets, people don't think about stuff like that unless they do have a total loss.
Right.
And just like those details should take place in your home, those details are built into your retirement strategy too. So we're ready to talk about all those deets.
No, I love that. That's actually incredible advice, because to your point, we accumulate stuff over time, and it's hard to remember everything. And when a disaster hits, I mean, imagine possibly trying to remember everything you've accumulated in a home over 20, 30 years, say.
Well, it's not just that.
Yeah.
It's a situation where, she was talking about the tornadoes in Western Kentucky, and their property values change so much, and especially what we're seeing with inflation going right now is that the homes are selling and they're costing more to rebuild.
Yeah.
So when you're looking through your policy, it's kind of complicated when you look at it. So talk to your insurance professional. We partner with 𝗧𝗂𝗏𝗏, and she does a fantastic job with our property and casualty. But we're going to see a lot of people out there that have had the same insurance coverage for years and years, and on their coverage A is what we call it, and that's the property portion of it. You could have had $200,000 for 10 years, and now it's worth $300,000.
Right. That's
Where
a
does
good
that
point.
extra money come from? Is it going to come from your retirement, or is it going to come from, you know, some extra funds that you have somewhere else?
Yeah, and you're right. The inflation in materials, I mean, the building materials are more today to rebuild your house than it was 5, 10, 20 years ago.
Policies are all different.
You're exactly right. You got to make sure your coverage A limit is keeping up with inflation to make sure that house is rebuilt totally.
Right.
That's
And
really good advice,
all of
Rob.
these changes, I mean, this applies to your retirement strategy.
Yes, it does.
If you're out there and you've only spent a moment planning for retirement, which most of us do, I will say I see that all the time. People spend more time planning for your vacation than you do your retirement. But retirement changes through the years, and if you don't have a professional that is there for you through all of these years and through all of these changes, you're missing out. I know we would love to see you. We'd love to make sure that your retirement is going the way you want it to. It's growing with you because you deserve that. It's your retirement. So let's sit down and talk about it.
That's excellent. Speaking of which, you have a wonderful offer for the viewers today out there. Would you share that with them?
We sure do, yes. Again, if you're given a call to that number on the screen, that 877-893-5099, what you're calling us for is to come in for a complimentary review. Folks, we're going to go into great detail. We've got this really awesome needs analysis. We sit down and go over all the details about you. This is a very holistic experience. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to make sure that you're on track and your retirement will be successful. For some of you, this will be a second opinion. There may be an opportunity to just reassess and make sure you're going to be on track with your current strategy, and we're more than happy to do that. You may be out there and be retired, and you don't even know what's coming next. That's okay too. So gather your information, pick up the phone, give us a call. Let's jump on it right now.
That's good stuff. And again, talking about preparation and being prepared and making sure, because if we don't have that preparation in place, we basically have to take funding somewhere else, right?
Right.
So take action today. Make sure that your plan is in place and that you're prepared for whatever comes your way. 877-893-5099. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
As a good saver, you've been putting away money during your working years. Studies find that the biggest fear of retirees is running out of money. Market volatility isn't just the downward movement of stock prices, it's the size and frequency of change. The more dramatic the ups and downs, the higher the volatility. This can put savers who are newly retired or a few years away from being retired at greater risk. Today's generation of retirees is not receiving traditional pensions as our parents or grandparents did. Instead, we have retirement accounts such as 401ks or 403bs. These accounts typically expose your money to market risk. The last thing you want right before retirement is to lose a portion of the money you need for income. But how do you turn these accounts into a retirement income? Is it safe to keep all your retirement money sitting in the stock market? The last thing you want is to lose a portion of the money you need for income due to market loss. By working with a financial professional, you can learn how to turn a portion of your savings into an income stream for life and income for the life of your spouse if you're married. We all have moments in our lives when we wish we had taken action sooner. Don't let procrastination reign on your retirement parade. Act now before it's too late. Please call our office to set up your no-cost, no-obligation retirement income review today.
Welcome back, everybody, to Powerful Legacy TV. I'm your host, 𝗂𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, and again, our guests today have been Rob 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 and Kristina 𝗙𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, a Powerful Legacy, insurance and financial services. Guys, we were talking about something that I think, you know, I see a lot of advisors out there, a lot of stuff on Google, the internet, right, that don't really talk much about this. I mean, they miss these components, and they're key components because everything is linked.
It is.
Right? The proper plan for your personal assets affects your financial plan overall because, to your point, Rob, you mentioned in the break, that money's going to come from somewhere. Right. And if you don't have the insurance to cover it, you're going to probably take it out of an account you really didn't plan on using, right?
Yes, I think it's important that you know your coverages and know what's possible to be at stake there, but it's also important to have an umbrella policy for liability reasons.
Okay.
Because you could get in a situation for anything that you, in this litigious society, you could get a lawsuit against you.
Ain't kidding.
And things could not go in your favor. Well,
yes.
You need that policy to help possible coverages to back you up there.
Yep.
Because it's another way to deplete your retirement and your savings, and you need to protect that just as well as you need to protect your current money.
That's good stuff. And I was reading an article the other day to that point. I mean, you could be one medical reaction away from a medicine that you're taking to be causing a major incident that you could be held liable for.
Right.
If you have teenage drivers, right, you guys? I mean, that's...
We do, and we know all too well. So my oldest son, his name is Tyler, and he was 17 years old. And on the last day of his junior year of high school, he rolled his car through a fence 4 times.
Wow.
About lost that young man. And it really changed my thoughts. I have been in the P&C world for several years, and it really changed my thoughts on coverage because, number one, I wasn't worried about the car. And when he came to, he's like, oh, Mom, I think I dented the car. And I thought, oh, my gosh, that kid hasn't seen it's upside down out in the middle of a cow pasture right now with his belongings scattered everywhere. We don't care about the car. I've not met a single person yet that's what they're worried about. Yeah. We care about life.
Yes.
And what is that life? What does that look like? And how do you protect it?
Yeah.
We had sufficient insurance. Everything's good there. He's fine. He's going to be just fine now. And we're so very blessed. But some people don't have that. And what if he would have hurt somebody?
Right.
You have to think about that big what if, or what if by some chance we would have lost him? What does that look like? And then what if he would have lost us? You know, all of those things take place when you're talking about protecting your family, and things change so quickly. I'm going to jump over to my widows for just a moment. Did you know that your auto insurance will probably increase when you lose your spouse? Because you're no longer married on the policy. You don't get that married discount or multi-car discount because you may go from 2 cars down to 1. Those little bitty things, and having that consult about the way your life changes and what we can do to help you, we're having those deep conversations. It's not just one little facet on there. It's multifaceted. We love having those conversations because when you are informed, you feel better and your retirement will be more successful.
And that's what I think I love the most. I mean, how far does your advisor go with you? I mean, that's deep. And it needs to be that because it's a complete picture. Your life is a complete picture. To Kristina and Rob's point, that's what they're talking about here. We're talking about auto insurance, but it's all related. Property insurance. I'll share a quick little story. Our bug guy didn't show up yesterday. My wife ended up telling me that he got charged by a Rottweiler that tore his arm to shreds.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my gosh.
So imagine what's going to happen there with the liability issue on the property insurance. So to your point, Rob, if they don't have real good liability on that home policy, they better have an umbrella because this is going to get nasty. Guy almost lost his arm.
Yeah, that's a typical, fairly large loss when it comes to biting, especially children. Children like to get in the dogs' faces and they want to kiss on them and hug them, and some dogs just don't like it, and they don't know. They don't know any better. You see it all the time.
Yeah, and I just want to do the quick math on this, if I can. Had a lawsuit settled at $493,000. Okay, imagine you got $300,000 on your liability. Well, where does that other $193,000 come from? Your 401k.
It doesn't magically go away.
That's exactly right. Your retirement accounts, right? And that's what we can't allow that to happen, correct, guys?
Right, and most people don't know what an umbrella is, though, Paul. That's the part that surprises me, is that we don't have that coverage on so many people, because I noticed that their agent is not really having those conversations. And I always think of an umbrella like your household. You want to put that umbrella of protection over your entire household and make sure that no matter what happens underneath, you're going to stay nice and safe and dry.
I love that. I love that you guys look at every little aspect. It's amazing, because this stuff is critical. It's critical information.
Well, and it's something that we've been in the industry, fortunately, for a long time, and we still sit down with our P&C person every year to go over what's changed, what hasn't changed. Some things may have went away. We may have a need to raise our umbrella up even higher. Most folks don't know that you can get more than $1 million. You can take it to 5, 6, 7 million sometimes.
That's right.
And you've got to cover exactly what you have and what the possibility is for the future.
Right, because life happens.
It does.
That's what we're talking about. Life just happens. You just want to be prepared. It's the same reason you have a good financial plan, right, guys?
That's right.
So speaking on that financial plan, let's come back and can we talk a little bit today about inflation? Because I know that's something that's hurting people out there today. And, you know, there's ways they can plan for inflation in their financial plan, right, guys?
That's right. Well, and life happens, inflation happens. That's just part of life.
No doubt.
And every time I think about inflation, it makes me think of my grandparents. They were telling me that when they were young, they could take a quarter to the movie, have a movie ticket, popcorn, soda, and then a nickel left over for an ice cream cone afterwards. That's not real.
Yeah.
And then I would tell my children, there was this little store that was next to my grandparents, just a block away, that I could go to that store and get a penny candy. They don't believe me, because now you can't get a candy bar about less than $1. It's kind of crazy how that runs.
We went by that last month when we were visiting.
You guys are starting to show my age now, because it's so funny. My daughter came up the other day, and I was just trying to give her a couple of quarters for something. She's like, "Dad, come on, really? Quarter's like the new penny." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, quarter's the new penny." I'm like, "Oh, okay, right."
Well, they write really bad country songs about that.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I didn't really think about it, but she's right. Due to inflation, I mean, look, our money's being devalued.
It is.
And we've got to allot for that.
You know, I think you have to watch out for the red flags. And we told the story the other day. We are working on a project at our house, and we stop in to get water for the folks working on our house. And over the course of maybe a couple months, and this was a while back, the price of water went up dramatically. Not only was the inventory going down, it had almost tripled what we were buying.
Yeah.
And when we looked back and thought, wow, you paid this for water?
I know.
So that made us start looking at other things, and we were at the grocery store last week, and chicken was $6.99 a pound.
I know, it's insane.
It's not much of a jump, but if you combine all of that together, we're seeing that with gas prices. It's going to get harder and harder for folks.
I would lose on the prices right these days, because everything's just so inflated. I mean, I just couldn't do it.
I'd be the one furthest from the right answer, right? No doubt about that. I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth. And you know what? But here's what the beautiful part about this, you guys, is you have options. You have the solution. You have the hope that's available. The bottom line is, if you're wondering what you need to do, you need someone that will help you plan for that, because there are programs, there are systems available and solutions that can help you plan for inflation, right, guys?
That's right. When we're talking about retirement strategies, folks, remember that this is not a one-size-fits-all. If you're out there and you have between $500 to $1 million or more, I can tell you right now exactly what your worries are. It's going to be taxes, inflation. I mean, we know that the volatility of the market goes up and down. I mean, that's what volatility is. So we know what's taking place. We want to make sure that we're there to help you. And as people are giving us a call, I think that sometimes people are expecting to be sold something. That's not what you're coming in for.
No.
We have to make a choice if you're going to be a client, just like you choose us. And if we can't do what's best for you, we do have some associates, some powerful partners that we can refer you to as well. And we look forward to meeting you. We want to make sure that we're doing what's the very best for you. And every single analysis that we do, I love hearing the hopes and dreams and how people want to retire. It's not a matter of if you can, it's how you want to. What does that look like? like.
Yeah, exactly. Do me a favor, would you, Kristina, because the phones are ringing like crazy, but remind everybody out there what you are offering them today, would you?
Remember, this is a complimentary appointment, folks. And when you come in, you're going to get a copy of The Retirement Train. This new book just published. It's so fantastic, by myself. And it's not like any other book that's out there. If you're expecting to snooze to a financial book, you're going to be in for a great surprise. Every chapter is actually a stop. So we'll start 0 to 20. That's going to be Kidville. Progress on through the pinnacles of your career, and then eventually on into destination retirement. What does that look like through all of those stages? I get several people, they'll come in and tell me, I just skipped to chapter 6 because I'm 60 and I know where that's at. And that's okay, you can do that. Yeah. And it's such a great explanation. We're so happy that people are enjoying the book, and get your complimentary copy. Come see us.
Good stuff. So give them a call, 877-893-5099. We got to take a quick break. We'll be right back after these messages.
When was the last time you saw your financial professional? Are you getting the most out of the strategy that was created for you? Although you've done a great job finding someone to help plan for your future, are you 100% sure that you were given the right strategy? We can help answer these questions and more with a complimentary second opinion evaluation. We will take a look at what you have in place, then help determine if you are well positioned to get the most out of your future retirement income. In the event that it is not, we can help by making suggestions and showing you how to get on the right path. You wouldn't get just one opinion when it comes to a major health decision. So why would you treat your most important financial decision with such disregard? Call today for your no-cost, no-obligation second opinion evaluation to see if you are getting the most out of your retirement income plan.
Welcome back, everybody, to Powerful Legacy TV. I want to thank you for being with us. It's been an honor to be your host, Mr. Paul Gebhardt here, yours truly, and my good friends, Rob 𝗙𝗵𝗧 and Kristina 𝗵𝗵𝗃 of Powerful Legacy Insurance and Financial Services. Guys, you know, again, I can't thank you enough for being here with us, and just the information that you're sharing. You talk about holistic. You guys cover everything. And I think that's what I hope the viewers take away from this. Someone who actually wants to listen to their hopes and dreams, to your point, Kristina.
We sure do.
You know, and take that on. So let me ask you, maybe that little bit more advice that makes the difference. What are some of the things that you guys actually sometimes pick up in these meetings that you offer and say, hey, you know what, if we change this one thing, it could make a lot of difference to you?
Well, I think we've seen a lot of things over our lifetime, what works, what doesn't work, and what necessarily was good advice 35, 40 years ago might not be appropriate today. And then what we've talked about, everybody's different.
Yes.
And we have to sit and we have to dig a little bit. We have to find out some information and go from there. Every plan's different. We want to sit down and talk with you individually and come into the office. You'll be in there for the first visit for 30 to 45 minutes, maybe longer. We might get off topic, as we sometimes do. And, you know, that's about the time it takes to deliver a pizza.
I think you get off topic a lot more than I do, just saying.
I do, yes, I do. I do. And that's okay. That's how you find out a little bit more about people and their personal side of things. And that's important, and just as important as it would be for the financial side for us, I believe.
Yeah.
We become friends with a lot of our clients, and we think that's important.
Yeah. There's a real element that I always get from you. That's what I just love, and I think that's what people are going to see resonate. I share this all the time. I mean, you know, if you want numbers and formulas and systems, and you want people that sound like they're smarter than you, they're all over the internet. They're out there everywhere. You might even have an advisor that's like that now, and God bless them. But the reality is, if you want the real, you want someone who's listening to you. If it matters, your hopes and dreams, if that stuff matters to you, then it is good to work with real people who will listen and who do have a nice, friendly, fun relationship. And getting off topic's part of life, because guess what we're talking about here? We're talking about life, which is why you're doing all this to begin with. To Rob's point, you know, if he doesn't get to know you a little bit more, and what pushes your buttons and what makes you tick, how can he develop a plan around you? And so, you know, I know some folks might think that's off topic, but to me, I think that's what it's all about. And I think that that is definitely an asset to your community, that you guys offer that. Before we go, I want to just ask you guys this, because right now there's a lot of turmoil going on. There's a lot of information. People are stressing out about the markets going up and down and the volatility there. Is there one thing that you want folks to think about when it comes to maybe there is light at the end of the tunnel, you know?
Absolutely. I mean, I think there are so many things to be grateful for. I wake up every morning feeling blessed myself, just because I do know that there are so many positive aspects to life in general. You do have some bumps in the road. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you through those difficult times and those questionable times, or like we had discussed before, the fog. If you feel like you just don't know exactly where you're going or how you're going to get there, what is your destination retirement? It's not really just a destination. It's a journey there.
Right.
What does that journey look like? Are you spending a little bit more money than when you were working so you can travel? Or maybe you're going to conserve a little bit and downsize because it's time for you to maybe be in a condo, play some more golf. You know, just depends on what you would like to do. Everybody's different. And that's my favorite part, is there's no day that's ever the same. Every day is wonderful because we get to meet so many great people through the community, and I absolutely love it. It's my favorite part.
That's good stuff. Rob, what do you say?
Well, even when we have things on Facebook, don't we? We have people reaching out, our clients reach out to us and, hey, what's going on with this? We saw you were at this place, or, you know, we were at the restaurant next door to you the other night, and it's fun to get that communication with our customers, because it brings them in. They are like family, and we enjoy it. It is a business, but, you know, you can do both.
Oh, they tattletale on me sometimes because I do put pictures of him sleeping with our little dog. So,
Yes, she does.
Tattletale. You know, it's fun, but our family and our lives, I mean, just normal human beings. And we do have all those numbers to back everything up as well.
Yes.
It's not just about, you know, hopes and dreams don't get you through retirement.
No.
Right.
But that's where you want to be.
That's how you
So
start.
how do we get there?
Yeah.
And we give all of it to you.
Well, you know what? If that's off topic, Rob, I want every bit of that, okay? Because you're absolutely right, my friend. Do me a favor. We got to end the show, believe it or not. Would you remind the good folks out there in Kentucky what you guys are offering when they reach out today?
Absolutely. We're offering you a complimentary visit to come in and talk about your strategy and talk about what things can be done. Things may not be able to, you may be on track. Let's just put it that way. And we'll be nice, and we'll do anything that we can for you. But we'll tell you the truth, and we would love for you to come in and see us. And we would get a complimentary copy of Kristina's book, which our youngest has read even, and he got a lot out of it, and he had fun with it as well. So please come and see us. Our complimentary visit, call us at 877-893-5099.
That's awesome. Again, thanks you guys for being with us. 877-893-5099. A phone call that could change your life. Thank you for being with us today. Be well and enjoy your retirement.